Si como sorpresa eres tú.
Dude, that sounded like that time you ran over that cat in Belmar and you're still claiming.
I'm like, it was a bump.
Dude, you 100% killed that cat.
That was a bird.
No, it was a fucking cat, and it sounded like that.
No.
I
I've killed a pigeon my whole life.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Chris Tutela, alongside my good friend, colleague, and co-host,
Ruben Borges. What's up, guys?
and this is episode number 6 of TTS Talk.
That's right.
I can't believe it's episode number 6 already.
And all great episodes, man. A lot of great information.
Thank you.
Yeah, listen. So we're all about.
So I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I got to say that this has been some of the most fun that I've had in a long time doing this. So I hope you guys are getting a lot out of it.
Yep.
And, you know, our goal was to reach 1 million people worldwide with this when we set out, 6 weeks ago. We kind of just decided to do this. Like, it was kind of like an hour before I just called Rube and like, hey, I got an idea, and we've been rolling with it. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, and we promise to get better and make the sound quality better and really just improve the show.
I mean, at the end of the day, what we want to do is we wish we had something like this. All the information we're trying to give, it's almost as if we're talking to our 18-year-old selves. I mean, I wish someone was telling me these things, or I knew this info about health, fitness, and mental awareness, which basically we're going to touch on today.
Yeah, so I think, what we wanted to do originally was deliver that message, health, fitness, but also mindset and personal development, all right? And something that I'm extremely passionate about is helping other people kind of find themselves and get to the next level in their lives, and I know you are as well, Ruben.
Yeah.
And, what we have here at TTS is just that. Like, it's not just about training. Of course, the training, the program, the coaching is a big part of what we do, but probably an even bigger part is helping people find who they are through fitness, like using fitness as a conduit to get to that next level of their lives, because I believe that fitness plays a huge role in our happiness and our overall development. And with suicide rates being as high as they are today and mental health issues kind of skyrocketing, I think it's an important topic, and that's something that we both wanted to discuss today. Was one way, if you're feeling bummed out, and neither of us claim to be doctors, especially him.
We're always looking to help ourselves out as well.
Yeah, like we don't claim to be doctors or therapists or whatnot, but what we both have experience doing is working with other people and kind of seeing the development and the progressions that people could make in their lives using fitness and also certain exercises that we've both learned throughout the years. Right, and one thing that's helped me, and I've written an article about this, and some of you may have read it, but it was titled, "You Are Dying." And what I want you guys to think about is one day you're going to be dead. I don't mean to go dark on you, but we're getting there.
In some ways, that could be the greatest motivation anybody ever hears.
Like,
you're going to die.
When you have goals, when you have dreams, and you feel lazy, or you have these things, these roadblocks, these obstacles that are in the way. It may be the people that you're surrounding yourself with. It may be the opinions of others. It could be your family, significant other, whatever. We have these obstacles in our way, and we allow them to slow us down. My advice to you is to remember that one day you are going to be gone. You're going to have nothing left here but your legacy, the legacy that you leave behind. A lot of people live their lives as if they're going to be here forever. You know it, I know it, we're all going to the same place, hopefully. We're not going to be here forever. So what is it that you want to achieve in your life? What is it that you want to be remembered for? And Rube, you and I have, we've discussed this a lot, and we've talked about the fact that one day we're not going to be here, right? And the legacy, the mark, the footprint I know that I want to leave on this fucking planet is that I was able to help as many people as possible, whoever crossed my path. Do you want to share anything that, what do you have that you want to leave behind? Like, what is it? It's just to give some people an idea of, maybe some other things that they could look for.
To follow that, I find very important, before your deathbed. And I want people to see me and remember me as when I was around him, I was better. And to me, it's kind of simple, but I enjoy that. If you're around me and you feel happy to be around me, you feel you're the best version of yourself, whether that be by me coaching you or just by my presence, I feel like that's important to me. You know, I want to create that vibe with people around me. They're just overall positive, and when they leave me, they're a better person.
Now, was there a point in your life where you weren't living up to that? Do you feel like that there was a moment in your life or a moment in time where you weren't living up to that?
Yes, and I would say more like my high school and early years, because I was living up for myself, and it was all about, you know, me and trying to prove to, you know, basically the deeper issue was trying to prove to like my dad that, you know, I'm great, I'm worthy of something. The only way I got him to maybe think about it was like with baseball, and baseball was pretty good. And other than that, I was like, all right, when I went to practice, it was about me. And it was until college, I would say, is when I realized, all right, you know, when I was an older kid, so I had the younger kids kind of confide in me or like talk to me about practice, whatever. That's when I first thought, all right, I guess I have a leadership role. I can use it. Still didn't use it to the best of my ability. And it wasn't, Coach, I don't know, I'm not even sure if I even told you this. I used to be a truck driver for Poland Spring, and that was when it really kind of built up. And I'm in these like mini team branches, and I saw myself, even as a young kid, helping out the veterans there on situations that they had problems with. Like, for example, let's say deliveries or whatever, and how they can fix it. And I was helping them out, and then I started realizing, all right, there's something else for me to do. And while I was at that job, where it could have been an easy dead-end road job, I realized now there's more for me to do in this life, and I definitely was starting to figure out more on what I was here meant to be and meant to do.
So when you were in that role, how did you feel though? Like when you were working as a truck driver, how did you feel?
As a truck driver, first I was just doing, you know, the whole night, 7 in the morning to 7 at night. There was no fulfillment in it. It was work for the check every 2 weeks. As I got pretty good at my job, I started realizing, you know, I was helping other people out, figure out their scenarios, their situation, because I was fixing mine. Simple, because I would just talk to the boss. And I was an outgoing personality with that. That's when I realized, all right, well, I definitely have more to do than just be here.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
So then, if you were to die in that moment, if you were to go for the rest of your life playing that role as a truck driver, you were going to go through the next 50, 60, 70 years of your life and you died. Not that there's anything wrong with being a truck driver.
Absolutely,
I want to make that
not.
clear. But for you and your role, right, and the legacy that you wanted to leave behind, how would you feel if you went through your whole life and then died?
Definitely not. Definitely, I would feel I did not fulfill my utmost passion, my utmost life. Like I didn't live to my full potential.
So unfulfilled,
Yeah.
right? And which that lack of fulfillment leads to unhappiness, right?
And to touch up on, like, there's no problem with someone being a truck driver. There were guys there that they were happy.
No, there's nothing wrong with
living. They
career
were providing
choice,
for their family. They were just happy every day being there. And I was like, man, they were awesome people to be around. Obviously, you had your other people who were there that, you know, hated life and everything like that. But just for me, for my personality, for what you're telling me about the legacy I want to reach, I just knew there was so much more that I wanted to do. And if there is, I got to go for it.
Right, and that legacy that you want to leave behind. And my point is, for you guys at home, realize that you ain't going to be around forever. So whatever you're doing, if you're not happy doing it, then you have to change something. Right? It may not be your career that you have to change, but it may be the way you carry yourself. It may be the way you live your life. It may be your relationships. It may be what you do from day to day. If you're not happy, you have to change it. Because this life, this existence, this shit ain't gonna last forever. It's gonna come to an end. And when it does, how do you want to be remembered? So there's one exercise that we were talking about before was to imagine your own funeral. Close your eyes and imagine right now you are dead. Ask yourself, who's there? Who's surrounding your casket, observing your body? Who's looking at you? Then think to yourself, what are these people saying about you? Are they saying that this is the guy or girl who did this, this, and this? Or is it the guy or girl who always wanted to do this but never fucking did it? How do you want to be remembered? How do you view yourself? The thought process, the narrative that you write for yourself can be changed at any moment. You're writing this narrative for yourself and you're telling this story, right? If you're not happy with that story, you don't have to live there forever. And that's what Ruben was talking about earlier. And in my own life, I was working as a firefighter for about 4 years, and I was not happy. This is where I was always happy, right?
Chris, could you tell them, how did you feel when you were in that decision?
There was a gigantic brick of shit in my underpants because it was a decision that was huge. And of course, going through that transition in my life, I was sweating. And again, this is nothing against people who work as a fireman or work as a police officer or as a truck driver or anything else. It's whatever you want to do and whatever makes you happy, but that wasn't where I was happy. I was happy here working with people. This is my calling. This is my mission in this life. And going through that transition, it was easy in the sense of that's what I knew that I wanted to do, but it was difficult because I knew there was a lot that I was leaving behind, right? And you get the pension and all that. So it was, of course, it was challenging, but it was the most freeing decision that I've ever made in my life. It was like a load was lifted off my shoulders, and everything else in my life has gotten better since I made that decision. So this isn't an episode about changing your career, right? But more so becoming the person that you want to be, because you have to realize that one day this is going to come to a screeching halt. It's going to come to an end. We don't know when that time is. But when that time does hit, are you going to be living up to the standards that you hold for yourself? That's the question.
And I think what's hard for people sometimes, and what would you recommend, Coach, for the person maybe not sure what their passion is, or maybe it's like, all right, I know where I'm at, I don't want to be there, but I don't know what I want to do. And I think a lot of that starts in the gym, and you were touching on it before. When you start strengthening your body, you start strengthening your mind, you start getting more creative with what you're all about, what you want to do. And we've seen it a lot with our clients here. They come in, they start talking about things, and we've seen it with our clients in the last 4 or 5 years. Some, whether switching careers or opening up another side project because it's something they truly love or love to do.
But you just feel better. You have more energy, you have more clarity, more mental focus. When you're walking around eating like shit, not exercising, you got that fucking brain fog.
Brain's not working at its best.
And you don't have that clarity. Sorry to cut you off.
No, but I think just it's something that I truly believe 100%. You start working on your body and your mind, creativity comes along. All right, it starts coming like a domino effect. Start getting better at something else. At this, start getting stronger, healthier. Now, wow, I never knew how much I love doing this. I never knew how much I love doing this. All right, now you start searching up things on that classes that do, let's say, whatever, painting, whatever it may be. But it starts coming, and before you know it, you have the passion. You realize what you want to do, and life starts continuing to get better.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, maybe it is possible, but from my experience, in my opinion, you can't strengthen the mind without strengthening the body first. And maybe you are someone who's already fit, who's already active, who's already strong, who already eats well, right? But you feel this sense of emptiness, or you feel this void or something in your life that's missing. Well, if that's the case, you have to really take a step back and reevaluate your life and be fucking brutally honest with yourself. Are you really happy? Are you just taking a bunch of steroids and training because you're doing it to feed your own ego? Because that's not going to lead to happiness either. But so you have to be doing things for the right reasons. So with that said, if you're training for the right reasons and you're healthy and you're fit, you have to take a step back and be really honest with yourself and the life that you want to live. Because if you're not, you're still not going to be happy. So it's not just fitness. When was the last time you wrote down your goals? When was the last time you read a new book on a topic that you're interested in, truly interested in? When was the last time you attended a seminar or an event and surrounded yourself with the people who are doing the things that you want to do? If you're not doing those things, you're going to have a really tough time feeling that fulfillment and happiness that we're all seeking. So guys, we want to wrap up this episode
To add to that,
Yeah,
Coach,
sorry.
but
No, go ahead.
another time we were saying, remember, when was the last time you didn't care what other people thought about what you were doing?
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Okay.
a lot of times that holds us back. Oh, I want to do this, but man, maybe, you know, my family might think this of me, or my friends might think this of me.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you did something and said, I really don't care what anyone else thinks. I want to do this for myself. I don't care what someone else's opinion of me is.
Right. Yeah, I think that, I think it's important. I think, in all honesty, I feel like all of us, we, to some degree, we do value other people's opinions, right?
We're human.
But you can't concern yourself with what everybody thinks, and you can't try to please everyone. You have to be true to yourself. And then if you have 1 or 2 or 3 people that you confide in, that you really trust, that really want to see you do well and succeed, and are going to be honest with you, like if Ruben asked me, dude, how do those sweatpants look? I'm going to say they look like shit. But that's only because it's out of love. And I'm honest because...
I might not value his opinion on those,
Right.
but these are excellent.
Right. And if I'm like, Rube, how's my hairline looks? And he says, like shit, I value his honesty.
I was okay. A haircut. Like, change it up a little.
All right? I value the honesty. But that's because we're close enough and we value each other's opinions.
We're joking, guys. Let's touch up on that, Chris. But having, 2 to 3 people, even one person, you're dealing with something deep. You need that person that you can tell them everything.
But you can't become obsessed with all of the opinions out there, because you cannot please everyone. So you have to stay true to yourself. And then if you want to confide in 1 or 2 people, sure, right? We do value other people's opinions. We're human beings. We're tribal. We're not we don't live in isolation. That's not wired in our DNA.
Just make sure those same people that you are confiding in are just as hungry as you are towards whatever you're trying to do or pursue in your life.
Yeah, part of like surrounding yourself with the right people, the people who are doing the things that you want to do in your life and are doing things that inspire you. You know, because if you just ask anybody, you know, there's people that are going to hate on you. There's all that shit exists. So it is what it is. You have to move past that. Ignore the negativity. Ignore the toxic bullshit. Get the people out of your life who are toxic and will bring you down, and only surround yourself with the people who will, it sounds cliche, lift you up. But I think that is important.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
So to conclude today's episode, the message we want you to take away from this is, remember that you're not going to live forever. You are dying, as am I, as is he. One day we're not going to be here, and all that's left is the legacy that we have to leave behind. What do you want your legacy to be? Think long and hard about that. And then make sure that your life is aligned with the vision that you have for yourself. Because if you say, I want to start a business, or I want to be ripped, or I want to do this and that, and then you binge watch Netflix and eat Cheetos every day, your actions are not aligned with your goals. And that is what's going to lead to a lack of fulfillment and unhappiness. So, you're dying. Remember that. Now go live your life the way you want to live.
Live to your full potential, guys.
That's
Make it happen.
We will catch you next week on another episode of
TTS Talk.
My man.
If you die first, would you come creep me out in the middle of the night or something?
You're going to die way before me.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, I can see it happen right now.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's bad sad.